Hi guys, you alright? Not done this before. I've been part of live broadcasts, but I've never actually launched one, so I don't even know if I'm doing it right. There's no viewers physically at the moment, which is kind of what I expected. I apologise up front if your phones are all buzzed with messages or your computers have all pinged with messages where I've invited you in, but by all means, whenever I'm doing one of these, and anyone feel free to join in. I figure you can watch this even after I've finished it, and I just thought try something different. Whether it works or not, we'll soon see. But yeah, see what happens with it. All a bit new to me. I don't even know what I'm doing. There's all sorts of control buttons and everything around it. I haven't got a clue, guys. All I know is I've got my Darth Vader mug. The Force is strong with this one. And camera. Well, there you go. You can see that if I press that button, nothing happens. There you go. It started. Special Force is strong with this one. It's a self-steering mug. That's my copy anyway. But yeah, it all feels a little bit surreal. I'm used to recording myself, so I've got no issue with that, but I am not used to using a poor quality webcam built into my laptop, and B, I'm not used to it being live, so no editing, no anything else. And I keep looking down to see if anybody's viewing, but I don't know why I'm expecting anybody to be. There's one or two guys said that if they can, they're going to make it on, and if they do, they do. But in the meantime, I'm just going to crack on answering the questions from last week. There was a massive response to the first time I said I was going to do it. There's been a few questions got back in, literally a handful. And as Jerry quite rightly said in the comments, I think if I try to do this every week, it's going to burn out exceptionally quick. I don't think it needs to be a weekly thing, so I thought I'll try a live hangout. I tried to advertise it, but I don't think I've done it properly. I don't understand how Google Plus works properly. I'm not a technophobe, I'm not a computer genius either. So apologies if that's not worked correctly. I will probably do something similar to this, maybe once a fortnight, maybe once a month. But I'll arrange it as a hangout with a couple of the guys, maybe. So that we can talk amongst ourselves, and you guys can still ask questions. The bar is on there for the Q&A. When that works. Let me see what all these things do down the side. Ask your audience to submit questions. They will be in level there, right? I imagine that that's going to be too late if you're not watching it live and you're just watching it as a recorded put out version. Anyway, I'm, as you can tell by the way I'm talking, I'm proper, not uncomfortable with it, just don't know what I'm doing with it. So we'll crack on. Going through the question. So Lost Legion Miniatures, she doesn't know how much it costs. She's behind you. Dan Van Dyne, how are the Night Goblins coming along? Hopefully, mate, you've seen the Night Goblins video now. I have finished my first squad and put the video up. And I'll be honest, I personally watched that video 5 or 6 times because I just like the music that goes along with it. That's going to be my Night Goblin music. It just, when I came across it on Incompetech, it sounded brilliant, so I went with it. There is the next part of my Night Goblins. I've been deflashing them today. So there's Squig Hoppers, Squig Herders, Squigs, Gnarly Squigs, and a Doom Diver, all in there, all deflashed, now ready for some sort of paint to go on them. So Night Goblins are coming along pretty well. Megan Timho, pretty hilarious. Good laugh out of this. Try and drop in. If you're not, by all means, drop in. Jason Pryor. Okay, here's one for you. If you could write the fluff for a new chapter, what would you call them? What would be their colour scheme and what would be their genetic flaw? I'd be their genetic flaw because I've made them. I'm enough of a flaw for anyone. No, I'll be honest, I don't know. It takes a bit of thought, that one. I haven't really put any, as always, I answer these things honestly. I don't put a lot of pre-thought into them, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to do this live. So you guys know that this is me. I don't know what I call them, Chase. I really would have to put some thought into that. They did need some sort of pretty cool name. Martin Reeds doesn't really work. but yeah, I'd think of something. Very simply adding me to their circle. Might be as a result of this, I don't know. But yeah, I don't know what I call them. Colour scheme. I'd probably do a take on ultramarines. I like blue as a colour. I just despise ultramarines. They're too goody. So I'd probably do a darker version of blue, trimmed in green. A bit like the Help Heroes, sort of the fourth company. But I'd have to do something. I would have to make them a traitor legion. I could not make a Loyalist legion, and never was. When I was forced to, then I'd accept suicide. I'd accept death before I made a Loyalist legion. Even my White Scars aren't fully Loyalist. When you read the fluff on the White Scars, you realise that they are quite a mercenary legion. I think they weren't 100% committed to join the Loyalists, and they at the same time weren't 100% committed to turning heretics. Sort of sat between, and I like that about them. Ultimately, about the White Scars because they look like stormtroopers. That was the reason I chose them, and then I read Brotherhood of the Storm. Really liked the idea of this fast-moving army. It appealed to my game style. Went from there, and 8,500 points later, I've got a full Brotherhood and Task Force. What would the genetic flaw be? I would have to be something heretical. Heretical. I don't even think that's the right word. I know what I mean. Jason, I feel like I'm letting you down because I've not thought about it. I haven't got an answer for it. So I was like, yeah, just shoot for this one. Definitely a dark blue in colour. Dark blue and green, because blue and green are my favourite colours. I love black, but black's a shade, not a colour, isn't it? So dark blue and green, colour-wise. Tracer Legion, and their flaw. As much as I don't like the Blood Angels, I do like their genetic flaw. So it might be some sort of take on that. It might be some sort of mix between that and the Berserkers, the Wild Eaters, because I think the Butcher's Nails are absolutely fantastic. If you've not listened to the audio drama of Butcher's Nails, I suggest you get it. It's a fantastic read. Listen. If you've not read any of the Heresy books, you don't have to read them in order. I very much recommend that you read No Fear, which, as much as I don't like Ultramarines, obviously it's very much set from that point of view, but it brings the World Eaters in against the Ultramarines, and then following on from that one, Betrayer. That's just such a good book. Aaron Dembski Bowden, he writes similar. Anyway, that wasn't the question. And I feel like I've kind of copped out to that one, Chase, so I apologise for that, mate. But yeah, dark blue and green and Tracer Legion with some sort of berserk rampage. They would have short temper. That'd be their genetic flaw. Literally zero tolerance. Kind of like me now, lose my temper very quickly. Who's this? James wants to join. Right, James, how do I make that happen? Check. James, just live. Come. All right, can you hear me?
You're not bad yourself, mate.
Yeah, you're alright, yeah.
Got scare you a bit then, so hello.
Somebody's joined. I'm sat here talking to myself and trying to answer these questions, thinking this is live and it's really disturbing me because I don't understand it.
So I've never joined a Google Hangout, so I thought, oh, what the hell, I'll join and see what happens and stuff.
Stuff to you, mate. Well, oh, you've got a copy, that's alright.
It's pretty accident, I'm not an alcoholic. It's just soda monkey, it's not bad.
It's not whiskey, really.
Long shit.
Yeah, it's all good, mate. It's good to finally speak to your actual face-to-face as well. Obviously, we chat every now and again on the videos and that. So, and James is, in fact, actually, that's probably a perfect person to join in as well. James and his stuff is about to try and join in.
Yeah.
And you've obviously both got big Lord of the Rings passion for your minis as well.
Yeah.
So, well, literally, I don't know how much of this you watched, or if you just joined straight in from the invite.
I joined straight in. I saw the invite and I didn't much else.
No, that's fair enough. I've just been answering the couple of questions that were asked from last week and realising that as much as I always try to answer with honesty, some sort of preparation and rehearsal might be a good idea in future. Because normally you can just press stop on the record button, can't you, and just re-record. If you forget what you're saying when it's live, you're stuck.
It's one of the reasons why I don't put my face in my videos, because I started to and then stopped for a while. It was because obviously I was using my phone to record rather than my iPad, and you can't really focus on yourself, focus on your models and go back again and whatever. So
yeah, it's much harder.
And that's sort of 5 or 6 takes in, and by the time I get the video out and done, that kind of stuff. So no, it's all good.
Just James is asking, he's found it. How does he get in? I don't know. How did you get in? Just off to Google?
Yeah, well, I've my Gmail account is always on because I use Chrome. So I just saw it appear, and I just jumped onto it. Is he online? I'll try and see if he's online somewhere. I saw he did a video FAQ. I didn't see it. I'm just having a look for it.
Only you'll tell, even from my earlier comments on your video, I just, as I've just said at the beginning of this, it's not so much that I'm a technophobe, I'm just a techno noob. That's probably the way I say it. I just don't, that's why I was well impressed with all that video graphics you've done for you.
Oh yeah, I used to do quite a lot of 3D modelling. I got like a tablet and stuff, but I can't really touch on it. And that cube design I did, I did it ages ago, and that's why I did it as a wallpaper. And I found it and thought I'd just try and animate it, and I just started it. And I'm doing another one, which is like, Star Wars Episode 4, right at the Death Star, where they kind of fly in.
Yeah.
So try and do that, and then have Ellis Fish Studio at the end.
Yeah. But you've got a fan with me. You mentioned Star Wars, mate, damn it. It's just simple as that for me, isn't it?
Like the old run where Luke goes through, the Millennium Falcon comes at the end, that kind of bit through. So I'm going to try and do that. So yeah, just
that'll be good.
Put it to good use and stuff.
Yeah, that'll be fantastic. Cool. I said this is all live on YouTube as we speak, so people can see you, people can see me. I must therefore warn you, because Google warned me, the inappropriate behaviour and language and blah 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 blah. They'll shut us down. And there's Aaron as well. He's just joining in.
Oh, there he is. Just about to. I'm assuming what's happening. So I worked in IT for nearly almost a couple of decades now, far too long.
Oh, right.
Every single time someone else joins, if they got video on, it's going to then try and compress everyone and then reconnect everyone. So when you get to like 20 people, everyone's sort of slowing down, and yeah, it's going to be good fun.
Yeah, I don't know whether we'll get 20 on. I don't know what the maximum is you can have on this, but can you hear us, Aaron?
Yeah, I can hear it.
Oh, Aaron, you're really quiet, mate. Let me see. I've got power tonight. Apparently, I control your microphones.
Oh, yeah, I can see all the stuff down the side. I've never done this before, so I mean, look, I can turn video off and stuff. Hi, James.
Hello. Guess who figured out technology? Me. Yes. Finally.
Hi,
Nice to see you all.
Right,
Aaron, just try talking again a sec, Aaron. I've just turned your microphone right up above everybody else's, and I still can't hear you, mate. I can like just about get a muffle in the background.
How about now?
That's better.
I changed the microphone from the laptop to the headset. That's what was wrong. Sorry.
It's all right. You're Irish. We'll let you know. Let's not start down that road. This one's live. Don't forget.
The tone of Alan's voice then was just like, I've heard that so many times before.
I know. But Aaron, would I be right in saying that you'd be disappointed if I didn't say something like that?
Probably, yeah.
You'd think I was after something.
There'd probably be something wrong with you if you weren't insulting me or making a potato reference, Martin. So
I'm not so bad with the potato stuff. But, no, this is all good. I'm impressed. We've got 3 people on. Live. First time I've ever done one of these live things. I know, James, you've done them quite a few times, haven't you, on your videos?
Yeah. Not quite as I was going to say not quite as successful as this, but then I don't know.
I mean, you can't call this successful. We got 1 viewer. That's not successful.
Yeah, that's great.
to start,
What do you want to do? You want me to put something on Twitter? Because I think, Martin, look at your channel. You can see that you're live now, but there's nothing actually posted to tell everyone that you're live. So it might be people can't see it.
Alan,
You might do.
Alan, your breathing's coming a little heavy over the mic, you know. Not that I want you to stop breathing or anything, but
I have a chest infection, sorry.
we can't win really there, can you, Alan? Because I'm either saying we can't hear you, or now all we can do is hear you.
It's my Darth Vader impression.
Impressive.
I'm just getting very good at it.
Brilliant. I'm just trying to figure out. I honestly, and anybody who watches this on my channel, or any of my subscribers that watch this tomorrow, or are now watching me saying this, it's freaking me out. As you can tell, I'm so unused to this live action thing. I'm looking all around my computer and clicking buttons and pressing things and getting emails, and I don't know what's happening. I haven't got a clue. There's more emails coming through.
Actually, I don't know if anyone can see. If you click the blue icon in the top left-hand corner, you've got chat.
Oh, right, yeah.
So
Yeah, you can hi all in there, yeah.
by Jove, he's right. We can now chat to each other, which is nice.
And the people who are watching it won't be able to see that, will they? Because there's also, if you look just underneath that, 3 down from there, it says Q&A. Which I've enabled so that anybody who's watching live, like there's one viewer there watching, and I don't know who it is. Obviously, we've got a viewer. If that viewer wants to ask a question, they can type it. I believe it will take a minute or 2 or 10 to actually come through, but then eventually it'll all come on and everything will be rocking and rolling.
I have the Q&A section open, so if that one comes up, I'll keep checking it.
That's all good. So
Oh, yeah, like I said, there was the question, and I believe our viewer might even be Dice Miniature Paint Guy, which is Kim.
Oh, he's a good lad, he is, fair dues.
Yeah, and it was Kim, so he's just said someone breathing straight into the mic. Darth Vader. So he's called you, Adam. Kim, welcome, mate, if you're watching. Why does that come through as an email, but not as it? He's put a comment on the video rather than a question. That's fair enough. I can get that now. It's a learning process, folks.
You're gonna need to have about 3 screens up soon. You have one for YouTube, one for the video, one for presentation. It's great fun.
Martin, you have a question in the Q&A. Someone's asking what topic we'll be discussing.
Test it. Is there a topic you were discussing? Okay, got it. Remco, is there a topic we're discussing? I don't know. I've got a couple of questions to answer that were asked. Fortunately, there isn't an hour's worth like there was last week. And then that question has just come in now: is what is everyone's current projects? So
that was me. Sorry.
Oh, is that you? Sorry, no, that's all right then. I'm learning. Right. So before we get into a topic, let me answer those final 2 questions. So I've got them done out of the way. And if any more questions come in, that's fantastic. Then we'll just generally ramble and chat. Apparently, this can last for 8 hours. So, Nick Diddick also asked, how active were you watching YouTube videos before you got your own channel? I was active as watching them, but never ever commented on anybody's videos. I had a YouTube account for years when it made me set one up. I never used it for anything other than to watch videos, and I sat and watched these channels of the likes of Nick. I'd watched him a small amount before I started. Which people like Templar's Crusade or Paint to Nerd, By Painted before I decided to fall out with him. Or Lost Time, people like that. I shouldn't have realised I was live before I went into my opinion of By Painted, who's put a video up tonight trying to get his business back up and running. And I always wanted to do a YouTube channel. So I thought I could get into this video thing, but I knew that if I did it, it'd take over a certain part of my life, which it has done. So yes, I was active in watching, but I wasn't active in commenting. Now I try to comment on everyone that I'm subscribed to. I try to watch everybody's videos, and I try to leave a comment on all the videos. There are that many videos for me to watch now that I just don't have the time. So it's anything that catches me interest enough where I can put 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 25 minutes, whatever it might be. Fortunately, what I don't do is watch much of the videos of like the scale modelers, and that's not because I don't like the stuff. I just don't have time to watch it, so I only dip in and out of them every now and again when I'm painting. And I'll put that question out to you 3 guys who are in. How active were you before you started your channels, and how active are you now that your channels are up and running?
I'll answer that one first. Well, I was already a YouTube person because I was doing 3D modelling things, so I started coming from different sort of angle, and then about 2 years ago I started watching some videos on 40k Warhammer because I was interested again, and the wife and I were sort of playing 40k and had some orcs. I kind of left and then came back and went, okay, I'll start my own channel up. I started doing other things like sort of Malifaux models and tried some Bushido, and then thought I sort of jumped on Lord of the Rings and then just gone from there. But I think probably Nick Iddickbeer, I saw the amount that he was getting involved and how he grew naturally by sort of talking to people and getting to know people, and I just kind of wanted to do the same.
Yeah. And Nick, to be fair, and I know, especially after watching his Q&A session the other day, the time and dedication he puts into this community. I know we've all spoke about it either to him or to ourselves on occasions. It's phenomenal, the effort that he puts into this.
It's absolutely berserk how he finds time.
The guy's got dedication.
I could put a video up and he responds to it within 10 minutes.
To be fair, YouTube should be paying him money. And I do think, and I probably speak for most of us, without Nick, we probably wouldn't have. We might have put our toe in the water at YouTube, but we probably wouldn't have I definitely wouldn't have stuck with it. It was the support he gave me at the very beginning, and like the likes of the Legion of Gamza and stuff like that really pushed me.
And one of the wonderful things about Nick is because he is always the first person to see your video, and he will be, it's practically guaranteed, that will always stop anyone else from putting that first comment, you know, where they type in like, first.
I know the one you mean.
He completely blocks that off, so the man is doing us all a favour there.
Nick is the parent that throws you into the pool as a child and says you're not going to learn to swim unless you get in.
I like that. It's cracking an out.
Is YouTube.
I like that one.
So go on, Al.
Yeah.
As you know, I run on Potato Wi-Fi, so it's fairly slow. So I just want to say if I lag out, I apologise in advance. I try and be active on videos. I know, Martin, you're very good. Every time I put a video up, James, Nick is like, the minute I upload a video, YouTube emails me, congratulations, your video's on YouTube. Then Twitter notifies me.
Nick likes it.
Like the video, yeah.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
And I try to be as active as Nick is on it. In return for him being active on my channel, I try and being active on his. But he's putting out like a video a day, and I might get through 2 or 3 videos a day with college and work and whatever.
Yeah.
So I feel that I'm lacking in that field, and that I should probably try and apply myself more to the community, just to give back.
See, I'd say no on that one. The minute that you're trying to do it just to give back, your actual life is more important than your YouTube life. Fact. Because you hopefully would still be here after YouTube. It's great if you've got time. Like when you weren't doing your work experience, next you know you don't work experience at the moment in uni. So when you weren't doing that, you had time in college or whatever to watch some more videos and do bits like when you're doing your commission paint, you can sit and watch videos. But for me, I've noticed I don't watch as much as I used to now because I'm out in a taxi all the time, and if I start watching them on my phone, my data usage, I only get 5 gig of data a month, and it just goes like that. I've been watching YouTube videos. Plus, you're not meant to really watch videos while you're driving people around, I suppose.
Yeah, don't drive.
It does tend to upset people.
But,
at the minute in college, like you said, or uni, I'm on work experience, but like what we're doing is we have to research a video and then we have to make up that video for the work experience that we're doing, which is great. But when you're trying to like code a 3D game and watch someone showcasing a model, you're paying attention to one and not the other.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. I mean, I know. I think I've spoken in Hangouts about it before. I know Mike's got used to saying it all the time. Like, he used to laugh at me that if I'm in a Hangout, then I do what I'm doing now. I don't have anything to do. I just sit and chat with you guys. I don't do hobby work as well because I can't. I can't concentrate on what I'm doing with my hands if I'm looking at the screen, and I can't talk to people if I'm not looking at the screen. I suppose just the way I am. I'm a very visual person. So I have to make a concerted effort. I can do simple things like cleaning mould lines off and stuff like that, but putting effort into painting a mini whilst I'm chatting.
It's a social outlet for you as opposed to a hobby outlet to an extent.
Yeah, a bit of both. Yeah, I mean, the whole YouTube thing to me is it covers many things. It's a way of showing. Everybody likes showing their hobby off, so it is a way of doing that. It's a way of connecting with other hobbyists, and also somewhere in the background I've obviously got very serious plans of opening this store up, and the YouTube channel is going to be a massive part of that, hence why I'm pushing for subscribers. I like what Blue Table Painting do with their YouTube channel and what Mini Wargaming do with theirs, and I want to encompass their good ideas into my YouTube channel once the store opens. But if I can have a good subscriber base before the store opens, then it will help my store straight away. That's the theory behind it. If I've got 1,000 subscribers and half of them are UK residents, I can only sell to the UK because of trading laws and what have you, then I'd want to believe that 20% of those 500 subscribers will buy into me as Martin McNeil, so using me as their local game store for online purchases. If I'm the same price as Elemental Games or whatever and you've got no loyalty to them, then you buy from me for the same price. That's the theory behind it anyway.
Shameless self-promotion.
Oh, very much, yeah. I don't open a business to fail. Remco just put one back there. Well, Mark, you say Nick got you into YouTube. You got me into YouTube. Make that first video. Oh, brilliant. When I saw your White Scars Army overview, I wanted to make a video for my channel, so thank you. Mate, not a problem. I'm up like that. I take no responsibility if it takes over your life. You can't sue me for it. Don't be taking me to court. If your wife leaves you, that's not my fault. But no, mate, well done. And on the note of that, Remco, some of the work that you've been putting out, those Imperial Fists, really, really nice work. And potentially you might be making it over to Warhammer Fest. Not Warhammer Fest, Warhammer Mania, which we'll talk about in a minute. So if you can get over for the 21st and 22nd of June, mate, it'd be great to meet you. But I do understand it's fitting it in with the wife. And Nottingham's got lots of shops, she can go shop. So that's that one done. I have to click done on them apparently.
Yeah.
So Reese has now joined us as well. Good evening, Reese. Has he? Has he not?
I think I have shared the Potato Blight internet to Reese.
Well, to be fair, you're in Ireland and he's in Wales. So they're possibly the two worst places for internet.
James is in Wales as well, is he not?
He's in North Wales. He's practically in Liverpool.
I think
Guys, I'll be back in a second.
Alright, see you in a second, mate.
I have a private tap into Martin McNeil's internet, so.
Don't do that, mate. Mine's not great. I need to sort of Virgin out with mine. I've run 52.
And now you know why yours isn't great.
Because it's Virgin Media.
No, I was going to
James has rubbed it.
But, you know. So, was I talking all over you then, Alan?
No, it's fine, James. I'm just a lowly Irish commission painter, it's fine.
Right, I'm going to move on to the next question anyway, so we can get through these ones before it all kicks down. Ready for Battle has said, here's a question for you. Have you ever played Epic Space Marine? In my opinion, the best game that ever came into GW. Not talking about Epic 40k, which was really crappy, just my opinion. Simple answer to that, I don't know. I played Epic something in like 1992, 93. I don't know whether it was Space Marine or 40k. It was Epic. I think it was Space Marine, and it was, you had tiny little miniatures, which was dead easy to paint because you just put a blob of paint.
What I think happened, Martin, was
Hello.
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 What's going on?
Well,
I've interrupted.
you have life from Wales. That's alright, mate. We'll come to you just in 1 second though. Reese, obviously just chilling and listening as well, but James was just about to explain something about Epic.
Oh, I think Epic and Epic Space Marine are basically the same thing. It's just Games Workshop rebranded it.
Right, like a second edition set of rules or something like that.
I think that's basically it. There's
That would make sense.
a Facebook group on Facebook, believe it or not.
Is it really?
Yeah, of all the places to find a Facebook group, who'd have thought to look on Facebook, eh?
I know, yeah. Wasn't it?
There's an Epic Space Marine Facebook group, and there's loads of pictures on there. Then I think there's still battle reports, being
Oh, that's cool.
being done by some dedicated humans.
Yeah, I remember playing it. I remember you had what I knew as Titans when I used to play it as a kid before I got out of the hobby. Epic was about. I played Fantasy and I played 40k. Like I touched on Epic a little bit, but you had big Titans in there, which obviously were only
Tiny.
only tiny for what we used to in Titans. Now there was no Forge World or anything back when I played, and I remember enjoying the game, but I never got massively into it. So I kind of hope that answers your question. The battle. Did you guys play it? Did you like it? Question on to you.
I played 2 games of Epic,
And your thoughts?
and that's really long time ago.
So you must be quite old school then, if you've played Epic, because that's been gone for a very long time.
I was thinking it was out of production, but I didn't want to say anything in case I was wrong.
Yeah, it's been out of production for many years, from what I believe.
That went the way of Necromunda a long time ago.
Necromunda is there's a website, Yak Tribe. You can go on and they have the full set of rules for it, and you can set up your gang and you can record your progress after each battle.
I've got the Necromunda rulebook upstairs, to be fair. I never played it though. It was after my time and before my time, if that makes sense. It was in my break.
You missed out, my friend. You have missed out, but
Definitely, Martin.
Yeah, I missed out on more time. Bear in mind, I stopped playing. I think I answered this in my last video. I stopped playing in about '94. It must have been because I'd hit 14, 15. I was playing in a band, so spending my weekend playing guitar whilst drinking stupid amounts of Jack Daniels. For a 14-year-old, I shouldn't have been able to drink as much Jack Daniels as I did, and then finding creative ways to use Jack Daniels bottles to smoke funny cigarettes, as you do at 14, 15. So little plastic toy soldiers kind of lost their way with me, and plus the girls didn't think they were cool.
now you see,
No dedication.
I feel really naive now because I spent my 14, 15 years like roaming around the hills and then around the hills. So,
Mate, as long as you were running around the hills and you were happy with it, that's fine.
I would say that.
Yeah, but my teenage years were, they debauched to say the least. But I enjoyed it. I'm still here. I grew out of it all. I didn't grow out of the rock and roll. I just grew out of the drugs and sleaze. No, I say drugs. I was only ever the funny ciggies. So I wasn't into any like powders and stuff like that. It's never been my scene, that side of things. I just used to smoke. I don't even smoke ciggies anymore. 5 years I've been quit now.
Good for you.
Yeah, I don't get me wrong. I probably have 3 or 4 ciggies a year. If I'm having drinks with people who smoke, I'll end up having a cigarette, but I don't want one the next month, which is a good thing.
Definitely.
But yeah, in answer, somebody did ask me what made me get back into the hobby, and it's a sad story, but it has a silver lining, as most things do. My cousin Neil, who I'm good mates with as well, being as a cousin, he's 30 this year. I'm 36, so he's 6 years younger than me, and I got him into the hobby as I was getting out of it. I got him into Iron Maiden, and I got him into Warhammer 40,000. And then I left the hobby. His younger brother Simon, who is 6 or 7 years younger than Neil, was 6 or 7 years younger than Neil. As Neil got out of it, Simon got into it. And you can see the pattern sort of emerging there. Simon then went off to uni and got Neil back into the hobby. Neil lives down in Nottingham, so it was right by Warhammer Wales. They were big into it, and then unfortunately Simon was born with a heart defect, and he battled with it, had operation after operation throughout his life. And at 19, he went into hospital to have should have been his final operation to make everything okay. And it didn't go well. That's the only way of saying it. He didn't come back from the operation, but he passed painlessly. It just all didn't take. And then at the funeral, Neil, in his eulogy, if that's the correct expression, was talking about Simon spraying his Warhammer miniatures on the concrete patio on the flags in the back garden, and there's still like circles where he's been spraying the bases. And he turned around and he said he remembers saying to Simon, "Why didn't you just spray them on the grass rather than on the patio?" And Simon's answer was, "Well, I didn't want to ruin the grass." And Neil was like, "The grass regrows." So obviously everybody was laughing then at the funeral, because he literally say he missed. He was a few weeks short of his 20th birthday, Simon. And through conversation though at the wake, I was chatting with Neil, so "Are you still into all that?" "Oh yeah." And he was telling me about it. He was saying there was tournaments and this, that and the other. And there's a thing called Throne of Skulls. They'd written this list. Simon had written a list in hospital for a Necron army that he was going to take to Throne of Skulls in later on in the year. And obviously he never got to fulfil the list. So Neil said he was going to put it together, and I said, "Well, do you know what? I'll nip into Games Workshop. I'll buy a box of whatever these Necron things are," because there was no Necrons back when I played. And that was it. I went into the shop and I was sort of like, "Yeah, I'm buying a whole army here, aren't I?" and I came out with Necrons and a Dark Eldar Codex, and then the next week I came out with a Dark Eldar Megaforce, and then 2 months later I had 2,500 points of Dark Eldar. So I got really bitten back in, and that was as 6th edition came out. So I didn't buy any rules, I was just buying the Codex and some models. I waited for Dark Vengeance to come out in the August. Well, you can see how deeply I've got back into 40k now.
You've been dragged back to hell.
Something like that, yeah. It's Simon. He's up there somewhere laughing at me, going, "Ha ha, I did this to you." But it was good, and I went to that tournament. We played his Necrons. Neil, my cousin, he played the Necron army at the tournament and did fairly well with it. And I won 4 out of 5 games with my Dark Eldar, my very first tournament. So I'm sort of like,
"Oh, congratulations!"
Happy with that. And it's kind of took off from there.
And the CEO of GW's staring at your bank account, chuckling to himself.
You can have it. Oh no, that's not. I was sorry. I was just back into my phone. I thought that was another question. It's not. It's a question about a video rather than a question about this. Right. So James, I'm going to come to your question last. I'm just going to nip on to 216 Customs question. I'm very interested in starting to paint miniatures. How and where would you suggest someone start that is new to this type of modelling? Don't do it. No. Welcome. The fact that you've asked where to start means you're already bitten by the bug. I know you're already doing scale models and stuff. I'll say what I say to everybody: if it's 40k that you like, so if it's a sci-fi game and you like, buy Dark Vengeance. You can't go wrong with it. It's good value for money. By all means, maybe buy one of the other box sets if they're still knocking around, like a Deathstorm or something if you prefer Blood Angels and Tyranids. But Dark Vengeance, in my opinion, gives you everything you need to start. You'll already have paints from your current hobby. Use them and then just replace them with paints that you have tried and liked. Don't go out and spend hundreds of pounds on new sets of paints just for the sake of Martin said these paints are good, or so and so said these paints are good. Trial and error with them, but just take it slow. Whatever you do, don't do what I see a lot of people do. Don't go out and buy a whole army, because you'll end up with an unpainted army and it won't work the way you want it to. You'll go out, you'll think to yourself, right, I'm going to buy this whole big army and I'm going to rock the 40k world, and then you'll play it and you go, oh yeah, that doesn't work, I don't like this one, and this one doesn't do what I wanted it to do. So you'll buy other stuff, and at that point, just build it slowly and play test each unit as you're going along. Borrow models off people, proxy models off people in friendly games. It's that simple. And then, as I have with the last ones, I'll put that out to you guys to discuss as well. Did you agree with me, or have you got a different opinion to start off?
If, say, someone was getting into the hobby and they didn't have paints, what paints would you recommend for them, Martin?
Vallejo.
Yeah,
I'm gonna drop a bottle.
yeah, but yeah, drop a bottle is fantastic. Although there are times where I curse the drop a bottle. When you're only painting a couple of gold coins or a couple of satchels that are on a space marine or something, to just dip straight into a GW pot's actually nice sometimes. Yeah, I like the Vallejo paints. I also like the air ones from Airbrush, but the standard ones are fine as well. Second to that, I like GW paints. Their base coat colours are fantastic. They go over anything. Ceramite white covers black, and it's white. It's not grey underneath. Those Night Goblins I did, all that yellow trim was done in Avalon Sunset and then Iriel Yellow. Because the Vallejo colours just go. It's Iriel Yellow. No, Flashgate's yellow. Sorry. Because the Vallejo paint wouldn't go over. It was too thin.
Well, what I will say is, as far as thinners for your paints, if you want to do glazes or make your own washes, Citadel Lathium Medium.
That's good stuff. I use that a lot.
I've used other stuff, and absolutely nothing can touch it. You know,
Yeah,
in terms of just how useful, how the quality of it. You know.
Yeah, I always have one of them out.
I have to say also, because I don't know if anyone can see my paints there, I've got a lot of the old ones as well.
Yeah.
And that Lemmian Medium has really brought some of them back. I've had like Mithril Silver that's just all gunked up. You put a few drops of that Lemmian Medium in, it brings it back. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
really
worth it. A tip for you there as well, Ian, if any of them still haven't come back, put the medium in, as you say, and then if you get like a little ball bearing, you can buy like 100 for 50p on eBay or something.
Yeah.
Put some sort of ball bearing inside the paint pot, and that acts as a stirrer. So it shakes it round, and it mixes the paint up, and it's very, very inexpensive to do.
Cool. Give that a go.
But what I like best about the dropper bottles is the very thing I hate about paint pots, especially the GW ones, is all the dry paint which gets around the lip and goes as waste.
Yeah.
No matter how hard you try to keep that lip clean, to stop wasting the paint, it'll still happen.
Yeah.
And
You
it's
don't
seal
get that
tidy.
drops.
I mean, I've got a Vallejo pot, which is as old as one of my GW paints, which is a good 4 or 5 years. The Vallejo paint is still like brand new, and that GW paint is like clay.
Yeah. I know exactly what you mean by that as well.
Yeah, GW don't put an expiry date on their paint where they should.
No. And they don't rob you for the same price. I mean, was it? It's £2 a bottle of Vallejo paint, was it?
Oh, right, yeah.
How much is it? How much is in a bottle again? What?
The layer you get for about £2.
GW's are like £2.60 now a pot.
Yeah, and it's only 12mm as opposed to 17mm as well, so you're getting 5mm less. Yeah, but we know GW is not the cheapest brand out there. We know they're not the best brand. I don't know whether people are aware, so it's worth mentioning since we're doing this live. The old GW paint range, the range of colours that we had before these ones, the reason they changed the colours, if you believe everything that you read, is because they lost the license to them. And the Vallejo game colour range, there's no coincidence that it's the same as the old GW colour range.
Yeah.
That's why they've got ultramarine.
All the old colours from the GW range, Vallejo already have.
They own those names. That's why they've got
Yeah.
and squid pink and things like that. All those game colour. Then they're the same as the old GWs.
Another substitute I found was good for base paint as well is the Army Painter ones.
I don't like the Army Painter stuff. I've tried them, and it's one of those each to their own. There's nothing about Army Painter of all the things I've tried I don't like their sprays, I don't like their washes, I don't like the quick shades, I don't like their paints. But then that's just me. I love GW washes. I think their washes are fantastic.
I'd say
unless I'm making
the
my
old
own.
washes were way better than the new ones. The new ones don't. I've noticed difference. I mean, I still have a bottle of Devlin Mud, and I've compared it to
Yeah, everybody loves that. Yeah.
the Agrax one, and if you put Devlin Mud, it doesn't slide down the model. It stays. I'm going to describe this. It doesn't run as much as the newer stuff. The newer stuff basically is more watery.
But do you not want it to run?
Yeah.
No, it's not if like you're doing, I don't know, doing cloth. You want to dye like a bleached cloth, like a darker shade, and with the newer ones, you've got douche too because it runs straight into the crevices. It doesn't shade
Right.
those areas.
Again, that might be a technique thing. If I use a wash, then that's all I want it to do is go straight in to the creases, and leave a bit of a drag with it as well, so it almost causes a natural blend. But,
Yeah.
it depends how heavily you rely on washes, I suppose, that doesn't it? But I know everybody swears by that Devlin Mud. I think Ian got a pot of it in his hand there.
Well, I'm just having a look. So I've got Agrax Earthshade, Seraphim Sepia, and Reikland Flesh Shade that kind of look similar. It's quite dark here at the moment, but
There's
just
a
having a
massive
look.
difference between them when you use them.
Yeah, I'll have to check because I've got lots of old paint, so I'm trying to figure out. I've got snake white leather.
Yeah.
That's
The thing is about these new washes is that when they first came out, everyone was talking about how Norn Oil gave a sort of shiny,
Just gonna shake it.
yeah.
and I don't know. Maybe I haven't used it enough to notice, but I haven't noticed that, and
I did with my Night Goblins. I learned the hard way with the Night Goblins. If you don't shake the washers, then you think about how a wash is made up. It's the medium and then the oil. They separate a little bit. If you shake it, so it naturally ends up leaving a bit more of a gloss finish. If you shake it up, it doesn't happen. And if you look closely at the showcase video I did at the Night Goblins, there are one or two in there which are a bit shinier than the others. They're the ones that I did without shaking the bottle first. And it makes a difference. But Agrax Earthshade, I use it massively. I go through more of that than anything else. And then Sepia is probably the next most common one, because Sepia it adds that lovely tone to things. If you're doing anything Deathwing or Bone Colour, then Sepia is your best friend. In my opinion, and again, that's my opinion, and I can fully understand why you don't like the newer ones, because you've worked with the older ones, so you have a tendency to them, if you like.
Martin, just on the starting point for painting in the hobby, would you recommend the Dark Vengeance paint set with the 5 Dark Angel Space Marines?
Doesn't it? Does it? What is it? 20 quid for 9 pots of paint and 5 Marines. So you're getting an extra 5 tactical Marines, which is never a bad thing to have. The brush.
You are getting the brush and the base materials, and you get clippers as well.
Yeah, I don't like their clippers. I don't use GW clippers. I don't personally like them. The starter brush, I've got about 8 of them here because I acquired, when they got rid of the old paint sets, I acquired lots of them. Broke them all down and sold the paints, and just kept all the brushes. And I just used them for putting PVA on, or putting any textures on, or like doing weathering powders. The starter brushes are very poor brush, even by GW standards. But the paints, it's good. Again, if it's value for money, if you're getting more inside the box than you would have to spend separately, then yeah, go ahead and buy it.
well, on that line then, is the Games Workshop, their big book, How to Paint Citadel Miniatures, is that any good? Does anyone know?
no.
That's a fantastic book. Oh, who said no then?
I did.
I don't know.
I read it. I wouldn't recommend it.
Oh, see, I read it, and then I watch the DVD. The DVD is amazing for it. I don't use any of the techniques out of it now, but for a new painter, I think it's fantastic for a new painter. You can, even as a more experienced painter, you can still learn things from it. You can learn things from anything. Yeah, I quite liked it. I'm disagreeing with you again, Reece, sorry.
I've got a book somewhere. It's actually a beginner's guide to painting miniatures. It's,
Right.
You can still get it in some places. There are new editions of it, but I find that better because it doesn't just show you how to go, okay, this is how you paint this. You need this, this, and this, and this, and this. Do it. It kind of scraps it. Goes, right, you can do with this colour, then do this with it. And you can build up from there and there and there and there. Instead of the book saying, okay, you need this colour, that colour, to do this, to do that. This basically gives you the freedom, but it basically illustrates you on how to do things. And it has perfectly clear step-by-step diagrams. It says, take any colour, then you take a lighter shade of that colour, and you apply it. And it does show you some of the older ways of doing things as well.
Yeah, and there is definitely
I go find
better
that.
materials than the GW stuff out there. Obviously, GW keep it to their own product with their own paints and everything. If you get the focus with a Masterclass Volume 1 or Masterclass Volume 2, they're absolutely fantastic.
Oh,
but
yes.
you've got to have a decent level of knowledge of painting to start off with, and modelling in general. I've got them up there in my bookshelf, and they are. I mean, and they quite happily talk about using Tamiya Clear. They talk about using airbrushes. They talk about using everything the GW don't talk about using.
Surely not.
They actually will do, yeah. Those will, they're happy with it.
Does anybody own a copy of Volume 1?
Say that again, Reece. Sorry, you cut out there.
Alright, so does anybody own a volume of Masterclass 1?
Yeah, I've got 1 and 2 up there. Sorry, no, one. My cousin's got 1 at the moment. I have got 1 and 2, but 1's been lent out. 2's up there.
What I liked about the Forge World ones is that they're not sole company related products strictly. Like if you look in the Forge one, it says, I mean, what are they called? There's some Reaper paint stuff in the Forge World Masterclass.
MP3 stuff in there and everything.
Yeah, MP3. No, they don't tell you. And like.
Is that MP3? MP3, is that the musical paints?
Yeah. I like the Forge World Masterclass. It's really good, but they are quite limited to what you get in them. But it does broaden your ideas of what you can do.
Yeah, definitely. And
it does have some really. It does. It's like when you look at if you've ever been to a Forge World Open Day, and you look at the dioramas and you think, fuck, how would you do that? And then that book just basically says it's as simple as that.
Yeah.
And it is. All you got without the paint on it, it's so easy to do. I mean, that's where I learned. That book showed me how to make sandbags out of green stuff because I was paying like £6 for 4 sandbags and I was ended up racking up giant bill. And then it's like flip to one page which I didn't realise I had in the book. I said, oh, this is how you do it. Roll it, cut it, done.
Yeah. And that's what's good about this hobby, though, isn't it? I got back into the hobby then 3 years ago now. It'll be 3 years this summer. I got back into the hobby, and I had all my old stuff, like the retro stuff that I showed you the other day in a video, and I've got paints older than what you've got there, Ian. Actually, I've got like the original Citadel colour paint set and Citadel ink paint set upstairs in my loft, and I thought they're not going to work, so I bought a couple of paints here and there and what have you as I needed them. And you expand, don't you? So you start with your learning, and I suppose to answer 216 Customs' question is start small. Dark Vengeance is good value for money. I think Aaron, before he dropped out with his potato internet, made a good point about the Dark Vengeance starter paint set. It gives you a lot of things in there. You off, are you, Ian? You're on mute.
Mute. Sorry guys, I'll get up at 5:30, but nice chatting, and I'll catch up with you.
Yeah, we'll be having a bit. So,
Look after yourself.
Cool. See you later, guys.
Sorry, guys. Dude.
Well, actually, while we're on the subject of painting and stuff, tonight I've had a little go at some object source lighting. I'm about to stick a pilot in this cockpit and then do some more object source lighting. Can anyone clarify exactly, roughly, how one object source lights something?
Yeah. So you're putting the pilot in the cockpit,
I am indeed.
and you want. Have you painted all the dials in the cockpit? Did you say?
Basically, there's lots of screens.
That's where the light's coming from, the screens, then, yeah.
Yeah.
So, what you need to imagine is, imagine yourself sat in that cockpit, or imagine looking into it, a real cockpit, and the screen's shining light out. Where would the light cast? So it's going to be across his body, but it's not going to be the same colour. The screen's going to be a much fainter colour. So, if it was a green screen, for example, then do a very, very, very light layer of white. An airbrush makes it really easy, to be fair, but you can do it with a brush. A light layer of white on the areas that are going to pick it up, so the really raised areas, and over that white, put a very watered down version of the green or whatever colour you've used for the screen, and that then should portray the effect of the light bouncing off the uniform and the face. And you just pick extra, like his nose would pick it out more than his cheek would, because it's more prominent. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's not something that's simple. I would suggest you test it on a model you're not bothering about first. Rather than, if it's the first time you've tried it, don't try it on something that you want to look spectacular. It's not easy until you've got time.
Well,
but it's a great effect if you can pull it off.
sorry?
It's a great effect if you can pull it off.
Well, yeah.
Now, I'm going to go on to the very last question that was asked from last week, which is from yourself, James. What is my favourite mini ever? And I don't know, is my honest answer. Because again, I've not put any.
Surely not Martin.
I've not put any prep into it. Has it got to be a GW miniature, or is it just my favourite mini ever?
Just the one model that, that you love the most. It doesn't have to be GW, it's just like this model, yeah, this is the coolest model.
Okay, that's a simple one then. In that case, I never bought it because I didn't have the money as a child, and I'm going to get one day. Or I'll be lucky enough that somebody will find one and give me one. Do you remember a shop called BT's? Like a model shop? No, might be before your time, to be fair. It used to be quite a big chain of model shops, BT's it was called. And there was one in Liverpool, and they sold, Forbidden Planet sell them now, to be fair, slightly different. They sold models, everything from radio control cars to model kits. And I have a feeling, did you watch Farron Adams' video the other day about the Alien and the Predator kits he's got, the old garage kits?
Oh, yeah.
There was basically, yeah, I'm awful. There was a kit, which was a model that you could buy. You built the model, then you painted it, or you paid someone to paint it. And there was two models that I really loved when I was about 40. One was the loader from Aliens with Ripley inside it. So she's in the yellow loader, and she stood inside with the arms. And the detail in the model and the way it was painted up. I never bought it because it didn't have, I think it was something like £70. That was back in 1993. I couldn't afford to buy it, and I would never have been able to paint it to that level. Whereas now I think I'd have a good crack at it. And the other one was Pinhead from Hellraiser. Same model. Oh, we lost Reese. Yeah, same brand that made the model, and it just, the detail in those minis just blew me mind. I couldn't afford them, and I definitely couldn't have painted them. They'd have looked like, well, I'd say schoolboy stuff. I was schoolboy, so.
Quite often, you see a model when you're young and it sticks with you, and you're like, yeah, that is the coolest model ever. I mean, for me,
and I'll find them one day. What was it for you, sorry, mate?
For me, it was the Wood Elf Tree Men. It was back when Warhammer was in 3rd edition. You know, goblins versus high elves in the starter box, and the original. It was the same time of the original incarnation of Durathu.
Yeah.
So.
No, the Kermit chips. Right, all those
So, yeah.
shred through.
How about you, Reese? What do you reckon?
I'm still trying to think on mine.
If it was a GW model, then that makes it a different question for me as well.
I don't know. GW is a pretty hard one because it's like with it all depends what like year, because last year I couldn't pick none because when they released New Guard Codex, it was like when the first picture I seen of the Taurox came up, and it does that weird buffering thing on the internet where it starts from the top and it starts like showing its way down as the picture buffers, and it was going awesome, 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 awesome.
And then you got one
you
that was smaller than a rhino.
and then it showed what it had for wheels, and it just jumped off a cliff. The Scions, I bought a kit of those and never been touched. I really despise them. They don't fit in with the Guard theme at all, so they just sit collecting dust, and I made my own. Because I like the old Kasrkins, but I don't fancy paying £50-60 for a complete squad of 10.
Well, it's very common, yeah.
But I would say the Kasrkins have to be my favourite unit.
That's a good choice. That's a good choice.
I'm loving a lot of the new models. Like that new Bloodthirst is amazing.
Oh yes.
Such a lovely model. I'm going to get one of them.
It's a shame I'm going to buy it and turn it into a Zeech thing.
Yeah, definitely going to get one of them. That's a fantastic model. It
is.
The Void Raven Bomber, I still think is a fantastic kit. It's useless in game to the point where I don't use it anymore. But the model's amazing. And there are lots of good models. I'd have to include, I'd have to make Forge World a separate thing, because my favourite Forge World model without doubt is the Warhound Titan. I just love that. Warhound Titan's just...
You've got expensive taste.
Yeah, but it's good taste. How nice is a Warhound? Videos to follow shortly, by the way, guys who are watching. We've got 4 viewers, by the way.
Well, you're doing better than me. When I did my live BATREP, I got as high as 2, which I'm very proud of and very thankful for everyone who.
We were actually up to 5 before we dropped up. No, we just jumped up to 6. Better. But yeah, to anyone watching this live, watching this at a later date, there will be another shameless plug on my channel. There will be a build tutorial for the Warhound Titan, and then a painting tutorial for the Weaver Titan for Chaos. And they're going to come probably just after Easter. I would have thought I'll get onto them. Whilst I'm shamelessly plugging, obviously I've got you two guys on. I've got James and his stuff. So click on James's link. However you're going to do that, if I figure it out, I'll put it into thing or go onto my list of subscriptions. You'll see James and his stuff on there.
I may comment on the video, so that might make things easier for people.
There you go then, and then go over, check them out. You just had a lovely shout out today by Pete.
I know. I was about to grandstand and say thank you to him, but you know, are you alright if I do that a little later then?
You go for it, mate. Yeah.
Okay then. Word up to Pete from Mini Warzone. Yeah, no, I'm so totally down with the kids. It's not even funny anymore. I think I'm sick. I think that's not
lad. Oh, that's sick, that lad. There you go. You're my proper Scouse accent. Like, I want to start talking proper Scouse and all that. Like, oh, mate, that's sick, lad. Yeah, you never ever hear my Scouse accent. I tone it down massively for my videos, and I'm not particularly strong accented anyway. But if I want to, I can start talking in a proper dick accent, like, you know what I mean. But yeah, and then the other person we've got, well, we've just lost Ian, just had to drop out, who is Eon Sphere Studios. Again, check him out through my channel, and then I'm going to let Reese give himself a shout, who's the Ebu Vale Juggernaut. Have I pronounced that right? Ebu? No, he said he's going through lag anyway, but again, just so that you guys who are watching this video at some point, it's only appropriate that people on my channel.
Very good, Martin.
And I know, whilst I'm at it, if you haven't already, and I'm not going to stop going on about this until the guy hits 500, you need to go and subscribe to the vlog. Tell him I sent you, because if he gets to 500, he's on 270ish, I think it is now, so he's over halfway. If he gets to 500 by the end of March, I will get a 4-drilled Phantom Titan. That's the big, huge Titan. I want that Titan. It would be fantastic. So, shameless plugs done. So, I'm giving a shout for Reese, who's now gone on mute. Giving a shout for James, giving a shout for Ian. Aaron as well, Lenny Leonardo. That was the other channel. Aaron, who joined us, has got potato internet, so it doesn't stick around.
The funny thing
That's
is,
it for shameless plugs.
you can actually learn electrical products farm potatoes, because they do have a small electrical charge, I think. That is
You can put it. Yeah, there's scientific experiments, isn't there, where you can run a current through a potato. Maybe he needs to invest. I'm talking about electronics. So, talking about electronics, I'm going to move on to the next subject. I've got 6 viewers. And lost Reese again. I don't know how long it takes for the questions to come through, and we obviously had a few questions. Remco was asking, Kim, if you're still watching on your phone, mate, then appreciate you sticking with us. Hope we're not making no sense. Whatever. But I want to talk about electronics. Do you know anything about electronics, James?
Yes, a little bit. I know that there's this thing next to my monitor, big long thing. You press a button on it, a fan starts going, and then Martin McNeil appears like magic, and it's.
I grant you 3 wishes. No, well, Idic Abia's terrain challenge. I was going to do a video on this, but I'm going to put it in here, and this will test how many people watch this video. No, there will be an update video. I'm just waiting for the final bits to arrive. I've got a lot of them.
They look like LEDs, they do.
They're not LEDs, that's what I'm waiting for to arrive, the LEDs. They are actually switches. They are magnetic switches, so rather than having a big switch button, which you can't really fit onto a 40mm base.
Wait a second. Magnets?
Magnet.
I love this. Nick's
I
gonna
know.
like, you're guaranteed to win.
But when I make them into Necron themed things as well, I'm going for the win. No, I'm making objective markers.
There.
I'm making a set of objective markers, and if I'm successful with them, I'm going to commission them and make them for people. I don't want to give too much away with exactly what's going to happen on objective markers, because it might not work yet. But I've got some special stuff. I've got a very special idea in this very special brain of mine, and if it works, it's going to be fantastic. If it doesn't work, then they'll just be objective markers, and they're going to have LEDs in them. But they're sitting obviously as an objective marker sits on a 40mm base, typically. So the battery housings for the CR batteries, like the watch batteries, were too deep. So I figured out I can actually just hot glue the batteries in, and there's tutorials for it on YouTube and stuff. The wiring I'm fine with, and these the next problem is with the switches. I didn't want a huge big switch. With these magnetic ones, you literally, if I cork the top of the actual objective marker, by putting a magnet on top of it, it turns the switch on, and then when you take the magnet away, the switch turns off.
Nice.
So that works the LED, which will then give the effect, hopefully, that I want.
I have a question though. If you're hot gluing the magnets in, the batteries in even.
I'll do a swap the battery.
Yeah.
I can pull it off and just re-hot glue. That's something I'm going to sell them. To make me own, it's fine because I've got a hot glue. But if I'm going to sell these things, then I need to look at something. But I bought, and I sent back because I didn't like them. You can get a battery holder as such, and it's deeper than what a standard 40mm base is, and all of a sudden the whole thing will look out of proportion. So I've got to look at it. Maybe that's a magnetic option as well. Maybe you can magnetise the battery into place. I don't know. For the Terrain Square challenge, I'll make them this way and then we'll move on. Gareth Lloyd Jones has just sent a question in. So a series, a comment even, sorry. So a series of 40k tutorials, which I needed. Glad you liked them, mate. Now a Warhound tutorial, which I need. Brilliant. It might not be a great tutorial. It's the first Warhound I'm going to build, so you're going to be learning with me on this one. If you want one sooner than mine, I would suggest you go check Mike Brent, who is Cruro Orangelis. You'll know what I mean. Hopefully, just by me messing his title. He did a builder, or how that builder weaver set of videos. They're really, really detailed. My weaver is built pretty much based on his videos. The actual construction of it, how I put it together with the different magnets and what have you. So, Gareth, check his out as well. Check them out, obviously, when I do them, but check his. And I'm glad you like the 40k tutorials. In fact, let's talk about them, if you don't mind, James.
No, go for it, you know.
Did you watch any of them?
Your how to play ones?
Yeah, I don't blame you if you didn't, because they're 20-30 minute videos each.
I watched a few, but then, to be quite honest with you, I haven't really watched any more because I'm not really in a position to play.
That's fair enough, mate. Yeah. And I appreciate your honesty with that. Well, saying, yeah, I watched them all. And you're lying. I've had mixed comments back about them. The assault phase video was awful. I hate that video.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't do it right. It wasn't so much that it was rushed. It's the most difficult part of the game to teach somebody. It's the most difficult part of the game to learn. So trying to put it into video format and then put visual representation on the table, I think I did it, but somebody had made a comment to me and I can't fault them for it. And as I always say, I take any criticism, good or bad. We learn from mistakes. And the comment that came in was, it was either basic enough for beginners, in which case everything should be basic enough for beginners, or more advanced for people who have already played and just want to learn 7th edition rules. And that assault phase video mixed it up. It doesn't flow with the rest of the videos, in my opinion.
Well,
yes, it teaches you.
That's kind of one of the pitfalls. I mean, like, tutorials on how to play Warhammer are invaluable because it's such a huge and complex game, but it being such a huge and complex game is one of the things that makes making tutorials bloody difficult.
Farron Adams said he wanted to learn how to play, and I, laughing and joking, said, I'll make a video series how to do it. He's like, well, would you? And got my mind going. I thought, yeah, go out, do that. Teach Farron. Mike wanted to learn. Mike Brent, so teach Mike as well. I thought it can't do my channel any harm either. There was no tutorial. There was 3 people that had done tutorials. One was Mini Wargamer J, who still hasn't finished his. He's put like a video every couple of months. Very professional looking setup to it. And,
Well, credit where credit's due. He's good, isn't he?
he is, and I was literally, I was about to say, without meaning any offence, it was very typically American, and I genuinely don't mean any offence to my American viewers or subscribers with that. There's just different ways of doing things on different sides of the water. And then the only other tutorial that started again and didn't finish was Pete at Mini Water. He started doing something, and I think he gave up.
Fair dues, he's a good lad.
But I started it thinking, yeah, I can do this. It's going to get me some extra subscriptions. Blah blah blah. It'll push my channel. Talking like previously as I did about where I want my channel to go, I thought, oh yeah, this'll help me no end. It needed to be a bit more professional than it was on the first videos. That's why I went out with a microphone and sorted my light out and things like that. But I didn't want it to be over professional. I wanted it to be me, which is quite raw and honest. And
Yeah.
bloody hard work. The amount of effort I had to put in. I had to reread the book for a start, and then I had to take notes and decide what bits were important that needed to be in the video. Then make sure that the jargon was dealt with then, and trying to sequence those videos. It was hard work. It really took it out of doing that set of videos.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that people watched them. The average videos took about 300-400 views now, but the move of Phase 1 has surpassed over 1,000 views, which for a channel when I made it, I had less than 500 subscribers. That's a lot of views. So
There you go.
I made up with that, and it'll just keep growing, hopefully. It could have been better, but the general principle of the game goes across, and nothing will replace actually physically playing the game. You need to go and do that. I basically just talk you through the rules. Gareth Temple, there, have either of you suffered any kind of hobby burnout? And if so, how did you get over it? Every week, mate. Every week, every day, I get hobby burnout. It's nature of the beast, I think. How do you get over it? Do something different. Literally. If you get too many projects on the go, you'll swamp yourself. Don't have them all on your desk. Martin says looking at his desk with lots of projects. But no, don't.
As I say, not listening to.
Don't have too much out at once. And if you bulk buy like I do, and buy lots and lots of different things, you'll never get around to. Hence why I've had to set up that database spreadsheet thing of how to get through my projects. Because I've got fantastic ideas for all of them, but the time it takes, I don't have. I've just said I want my Warhound and my Reaver. Between those two models, there's over £1,000. That's an awful lot of money to sink into models, and they're just sat in boxes. The Reaver's pretty much built. There's still some more conversion where it's going to be quite epic when it's finished. But the Warhound is still on its gates and everything. I've never even taken it out to the bags. So £300 or £400 worth of kits just sat in a box. Because I haven't had the time to dedicate to do this. There's always been another project that's been more necessary as such. I'm working on, I don't want to show too much of it, but I'll give you a little sneak peek.
Well, go on, Martin, tease us.
Do you know I said about the big tyranny commission I'm doing?
Oh, aye.
I'm trying to hold it off camera. I called him Sean, that's his middle name. It's actually Michael. Michael Shaw. Michael Shaw, if memory serves right, is the guy who did the commission for. He's told me I'm allowed to put the video on YouTube. That's how he wants to see it. it'll be finished this week. I'm just waiting for the bases to dry. But with no arms in place yet, here is the first sneak peek of his Hive Tyrant.
Looks nice. Seeing a bit of fantasy. What is it? Vampire Counts back to action. That's
yeah, Terrorgeist wings, Terrorgeist tail. But then I've had to make my own head for the Swarm Lord, and I've had to convert the wings back on themselves because I didn't like the way they looked, the way they were inverted. So there's a chunk of work gone into that. Been making some linked Devourers, which just need a lot more green stuff put onto them. And then we've got the beginnings of an ice base.
Alright.
It should hopefully all pull together this week. But the good thing about Michael's commission is he's in absolutely no rush for it. And he's told me just take your time with it, just chill out with it. 1 a month. And I think even if it wasn't 1 a month, he's got enough to get on paper with. He's more interested in getting the job right than getting the job rushed. And that helps because every time I get to a point with that model where I think it's burning me out, I'll stop it and I'll move to something else. So finish my night goblins off and then I'll come back to it. That's kind of where I am with it, I suppose. What about yourself? How do you deal with hobby burnout then, James?
I do get it, but I used to get it more when I was drawing, and I don't get it so much with the models, mainly because I don't get like huge stints of doing the models. I've usually got college work to get on with, so you know I'll have breaks, so it's like that. But other than taking breaks, find something to really. I would suggest find something to really rekindle your passion for it. You know, if you say, for example, if you're just doing Space Marines, then go out and buy a Harlequin and try those bloody diamond patterns.
That's it. Buy something you like the look of, rather than it needs to be in an army. Because if you're building an army, you buy things because you need them rather than because you want them. You buy them because they're useful. Whereas I think, as James has quite rightly just said there, is if you buy a unit you just like the look of, then buy it, build it, paint it, and just get on with it.
It should be like people should aim to take the pressure off themselves, because like there's sort of an expectation if you're going to buy these Harlequins or something like that, you have to paint them brilliantly. Just paint and enjoy them. Don't get hung up about like I must do the highlighting like this and I must do the checkers like that.
Exactly.
To be enjoyed.
Yeah, and each time you paint something, you will be better than the last time you painted something. So it grows, doesn't it? Which I think we kind of touched on.
Very true. I mean, I've just finished massacring this object source lighting thing. Next time I will be slightly less bad at it.
Well, you look at that end that you did, the tree roots ripping out of the ground, which looked brilliant. You attacked it 3 different ways, didn't you? The first attempt didn't do what you wanted, so you had a different go at it, and it still wasn't quite right, and then you got the effect you wanted because you just keep trying. I look at my green stuff skills, they're better than they were 3 years ago, but I'm still not a master sculptor. I couldn't make my own models. I'm not a sculptor to make models, but I can green stuff reasonably well. Gareth's put back there before I get to Craig's. Gareth's put back here. I'm sat staring at a Warhound of Thunderhawk and a few other Forge World bits of all built on over several years. I do feel quite ashamed that I haven't showed them the love they deserve. Don't worry about it, mate. The Thunderhawk's a crappy kit. You'll get nothing good said from me about the Thunderhawk. Well, when it's finished and it's all put together and painted up, it does look good. It's a horrible kit to put together. Well, mine was anyway. And mine is still sat now 60-70% done. I can't can't find the motivation to get back into it. Hence why it's in the spreadsheet. So when it comes up in the spreadsheet, I'm going to just kind of have to do it. And again, it's an expensive model to leave. Not done. I've spent over £100 just on the base, and that's now just Saturday. Been bagging my loft because it was just gathering dust down here, so it may as well be in a bag in the loft. But yeah, show the love. Think about what you want to do with them. Think about what you like about them, and then take it from there.
Oh,
Craig.
Oh, here comes trouble.
And anyway, that wraps up to this evening's session, so we'll see you all again soon. What is the answer to your question, Craig?
That was a silly.
I almost said it.
Woodchuck wood. A woodchuck. Woodchuck. Lots of wood.
Yeah.
Ah, I almost did it right.
Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled pepper. Where's the peck of pickled pepper Peter Piper picked? There you go.
It was from an old computer game called Monkey Island 2.
Monkey Island 2.
Brilliant game. It was when he went into the old woods, the wood carver where he's carving the leg, and he goes, "How much wood did Woodchuck chuck if Woodchuck could chuck wood?"
Ah, the Monkey Island games. I used to love them on the Amiga. I used to play them. Or
Yeah.
the Amiga or the Atari ST. Oh, mate, that's just like literally, that's just that nostalgia is just washed over me now. That's fantastic. And do you remember? I was, let's say, 12, 13 when Monkey Island was out, and Atari ST and Amiga with the computers, the main consoles ready for the computers to have. There was also a game called Leisure Suit Larry, which was it wasn't quite a porno game, but at 12 years old it was. Brilliant. And just clicking off, who's this? Deadly Drumsticks. Please check out my YouTube channel. Maybe. I'm guessing that's spam more than anything. We've dropped down to 5. We went up to 7 viewers. You'll be glad to know, James.
Martin, that's a hell of a bar, you know? You're setting the bar very, very high.
As soon as I said that, we dropped to 4. Although Craig,
War gamers are quaking in their trousers, you know.
Sort of switch seats.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you're not a viewer anymore. You're a participant. But yeah, welcome, mate. So, shameless plug number 72. No, Craig has just joined us. So anybody who's watching this live on my subscription and has got this far into the video, Craig is Terrain Direct. You want to check his channel out, give him a sub, have a look at his stuff, good stuff. And the most recent set of videos, how Craig doesn't mind me saying, a very heartfelt community project. Whilst I've got you on live, mate, whether you like it or not, I'm going to say it, I'm absolutely hats off to you for what you've pulled out. You've got some there. I know the community's really responded well, but it shows this community for what it really is. And it's a fantastic thing that you've done for it, mate. So be proud of yourself with that.
Yeah, thanks very much. The community there just went above and beyond the generosity of everyone that all pulled together. It's just made a huge difference to his life. Really has. I mean, he's never really had a hobby. Now he's got a hobby, and
He's got a shop.
it's like his dad can't keep him from. Well, he can't get him to go to sleep at night now. He says he puts him to bed, he turns the light. Half hour later, the light's back on.
He's up there building models. That's brilliant. And you know what? That's what this hobby. I don't know how much of the. Before you joined, I don't know how long you've been watching Paul. We talk about what the hobby does, and that's exactly what it does. It involves you, it empowers you, it can sometimes run away with you. I think we've all suffered when we put the hobby I've had too much focus on it. I know I'm sat out this morning, 5:30 this morning. I went out with the cat, and it's a bit hit and miss at that time of morning. Sometimes you just trip one job after the other. All the time you might be waiting, as I was this morning, for 30 minutes for a job. So I took Fangcast, Night Goblins, a knife, clippers, and a brush out into the taxi with me. I was sat waiting for the job to come through on my radio. Demold lining, Night Goblins and Squigs. It's like, what's that all about? But it made sense to do it. But no, I made up that he's happy with it all.
Yeah,
We've got another recruit.
yeah, it's well, what I'm trying to do at the moment is I'm trying to coerce him and his dad to come to Warhammer World.
Oh, for Warhammer, that would be brilliant and get them involved in technology.
I'm trying to coerce them into coming. So
Yeah, that'd be good.
I'm trying to pressure them and push them into a corner. So
Yeah, it'd be good. I can imagine from both Jake and his dad's point of view as well, though, that there'll be a desire to go there, but also obviously it's a chance for Jake to meet a lot of the guys who have taken part. I say a lot, however many turn-ups, sort of thing. But I think it might be a little bit of overwhelming for him as well. He's only a young lad, and if he feels listen, if you can get him to come, it'd be absolutely fantastic. Gareth's just put on the side there, Craig. It's really great to hear. I'm glad you have such a positive response. Hope it stays strong. Mr. Jake. Yeah, fair play, guys. Thanks a lot, mate.
thanks very much for that comment. That's really appreciated.
But right, I'm going to move on to Warhammer Mania. So let's talk Warhammer Mania now. Craig, you and I are going to talk about this one afternoon more in depth about things I don't want to talk about live on air.
Everything's just gone funny.
Yeah. So let's carry the show magnificently, like a pair of bosses that we are. Warhammer Mania. There's a Google Plus group that Martin McNeil has going, and he can invite anyone who wants to go. I seem to remember Martin saying this is open to anyone who wants to go. It's not just a YouTube thing. So anyone watching, contact Martin McNeil. Just with any reason you like, just contact him. If you've got a problem, if you're wondering about the mass or density of the sun, just contact him. He'll be alright. What else?
Yeah, it doesn't really matter what sort of state that your army's in as well. If it's unpainted or painted, it can still be played, as long as it's the representative miniatures.
And if you do get there, try and get Craig to buy some models.
That will not be difficult.
What else did he say? They can't. There was talk about hiring the staff canteen, but I think that didn't come off. So it's going to be like lunch at Bugman's.
That's fine with me because I'm really happy with going into Bugman's to get myself a big burger.
Those burgers are so tasty, aren't they?
They certainly are. If they still do it, I'm going to be having the belly buster.
I think they do the fat bloke now, which is probably the same thing. I don't know, but do you want to describe the burger for the viewers, or shall I?
Well, the last time when I had it, it was 2 quarter-pounders of butterfly breast of chicken with 3 onion rings, with salad in a bun with a skewer right through the middle, and chips, coleslaw, barbecue sauce.
But let's not forget the bun. Well, the buns when I went are brioche buns, so they're not crunchy. They're nice and soft and tasty and buns.
Tasty.
Yeah. Yeah,
Think
I
we-
like big buns, and I cannot lie.
Did we just?
Person. I don't know where he's gone, but I'm sure they'll be back soon. I mean, what on earth are the dates of this Warhammer Mania?
22nd and 23rd of June.
You
So
know
when-
what? Oh, go on.
So, and there'll be. I'm currently working on some fight promos for the battles. So I'm working out with all the graphics and things like that for them. So the first one that'll appear will be Idic Beer versus Dragonforge Studios.
Nice, nice. You do realise, though, at this point, we have hijacked Martin's question and answer thing. Accidentally.
Accidentally.
Yeah. Maybe Martin just couldn't be bothered talking to us anymore and just bailed completely, like, but...
Yeah, I think it went. Maybe
So-
it's a few internet issues.
Well, actually,
Second.
this is a great opportunity. So, what... Craig, I take it you're going.
Yes, definitely.
Right, so what army are you taking?
Probably none.
Oh, shocker. Shock result.
If I do take something, I'm gonna say maybe my Empire. I maybe take it. I might take my Empire army.
Go on. Take your Empire army. I know you've told me about that monster that's your Empire army before, like.
The problem with my Empire army is they're trying to keep the lists down to 1,500 points, and I tend to have most of my army lists at between 3,000 and 7,000 point armies.
That's the problem. Decisions, isn't it? Eh?
Unless I can get Mork and Goblin army all sorted by then I'll take Mork and Goblins. May possibly take my Blood Angels.
Oh, go on. Take your Blood Angels and make a shout out right now. Challenge someone. Throw down the gauntlet.
Now there's already a Blood Angels gauntlet down, so can't do that. My Elder army's just not going to be ready in time. Because I've pretty much burnt myself out with my Eldar.
Oh, are they? How's that going along?
It stopped.
Ah, right, okay. Yeah.
I've got too much other things going on at the moment.
Well, fair enough.
Because I'm doing like a lot of the graphics work and stuff like that for Warhammer Mania.